Ever wondered what happens when your cat eats wet food every single day for a month? Day 1, the switch. Day 1, I open the first can. The smell hits the room instantly, rich, meaty, almost overwhelming. My cat, Luna, walks over slowly, sniffs it, and then looks up at me like I've finally done something right in my life. She finishes the entire portion in under 2 minutes. Dry food used to sit in her bowl for hours. This was gone before I even put the can in the trash. Here's what's happening inside her body at this exact moment that most people don't realize. Wet food contains roughly 70 to 80% moisture. Dry kibble, around 10%. Your cat's kidneys are immediately receiving more hydration than they probably have in months, maybe years. Cats evolved as desert animals. They have a naturally low thirst drive. In the wild, they got almost all their water from prey. Dry food forces their kidneys to work in a constant, low-level state of dehydration. From day 1, that changes. Days 2 to 5, the digestive shift. By day 3, I noticed something I was not expecting. The litter box smelled different, less sharp, less chemical. I started doing some research and found out this is completely normal and actually a good sign. When cats eat dry food, the concentrated proteins and low moisture create stronger smelling waste. With higher hydration and more bioavailable protein from wet food, the kidneys process waste more efficiently. But here's the part nobody warns you about. Around day 4, Luna had noticeably softer stools. Not diarrhea, just a transition. Her gut bacteria were adjusting. This is completely normal in the first week. But a lot of owners panic and immediately switch back to dry food thinking something is wrong. Don't. The gut needs time. By day 5, things had normalized, and I started noticing something else. Luna was less restless at night. Week 2, something shifts in her behavior. This is where things started getting interesting. By day 8, Luna's coat was already looking different. I know that sounds fast. I thought I was imagining it. I took photos to compare. The fur along her back had a slight sheen it didn't have before. Her eyes seemed clearer. She was more alert in the mornings. Wet food is typically higher in animal-based, protein and fat, the exact macronutrients that directly impact coat quality and energy levels in cats. The omega fatty acids, the moisture, the lack of heavy starch fillers, it all starts working fast. But here is the thing nobody talks about. By day 10, Luna started asking for food more persistently. She was meowing at the fridge, circling my feet at meal times. At first, I thought she was becoming greedy. I was wrong. What was actually happening was that she was now truly, properly hungry at meal times, because wet food digests faster than dry food. Her metabolism was recalibrating. Her body was remembering what real hunger and real satiation felt like. Dry food, loaded with carbohydrates and filler starches, creates a false, sluggish sense of fullness. She wasn't being greedy. She was becoming healthier. Day 14, the water bowl discovery. Halfway through the experiment, I noticed something so small that I almost missed it. Luna had stopped drinking from her water bowl. Almost entirely. I watched for 2 full days. She approached it once, sniffed it, walked away. Now this is the moment where a lot of cat owners would panic. But the reason is actually remarkable. Luna's daily moisture intake from wet food was already meeting, or even exceeding, her hydration needs. She simply didn't need the water bowl the way she used to. Her kidneys were processing fluids efficiently. She wasn't dehydrated. She was the opposite. Chronic low-grade dehydration is one of the leading contributors to kidney disease in cats, the #1 cause of death in domestic cats over 10 years old. By simply switching to wet food, Luna's kidneys were under less stress every single day. That's not a small thing. That's potentially years of healthier life. Week 3, this is the part that scared me. Day 18, Luna's energy levels were noticeably higher. She was playing more, jumping onto things she hadn't bothered with in months. I told myself it was probably just coincidence. Maybe the weather. Maybe she was just in a good mood. Then came day 21. I noticed she had lost weight. Not a dramatic amount, but I could feel it when I picked her up. She was lighter. Her waist had a more defined shape. The vet had mentioned she was slightly overweight at her last checkup. I hadn't changed her portion sizes. I hadn't added exercise. The food did this on its own. Here's why. Dry cat food is typically 30 to 50% carbohydrates. Cats are obligate carnivores. They have almost no biological need for carbohydrates. Their digestive systems are not designed to process them efficiently. Those carbs convert to fat. Wet food is almost entirely protein and fat, the fuels. A cat's body is built to run on. The shift in macronutrients alone caused Luna's body composition to begin changing. But day 22 is the one that stopped me cold. I was sitting on the couch and Luna jumped up, walked across my lap, and settled directly on my chest, chin tucked under my chin, purring loudly. She had never done this before. Not once in 3 years. I genuinely sat there not moving for 20 minutes because I didn't want her to leave. Now I can't prove it was the food, but here's what I know. Cats feel more trusting when they feel well. When they're in discomfort, digestive, physical, chronic, they withdraw. They sleep more. They engage less. And for the first time in a long time, Luna felt genuinely well. Days 23 to 28, the darker side. I have to be honest with you here because this video is not an advertisement. Around day 23, I made the mistake of buying a lower quality wet food, a cheaper brand on sale. Within 24 hours, Luna's stools became inconsistent again. She ate slower. She seemed less interested. I checked the label. It was loaded with gravy thickeners, gums, and plant-based protein fillers listed before any actual meat. This is the trap. Not all wet food is equal. Some wet foods are barely better than dry food in terms of quality. The key is to look for a named meat source as the first ingredient: chicken, turkey, salmon, and a short, clean ingredient list. High moisture, low carbohydrate, no corn, no wheat, no soy. Pate-style foods tend to have cleaner formulations than chunk-in gravy varieties. The gravy-based foods are often thickened with starches that defeat the purpose entirely. I switched back to the higher quality brand. Within 2 days, Luna was back to normal. Day 30, the final results. 30 days. Here is exactly what changed. Luna lost approximately 0.4 pounds. Small, but meaningful for a cat her size. Her coat became visibly softer and more lustrous. Her energy levels were higher. Her litter box odor decreased significantly. She drank almost no water from her bowl, instead hydrating through her food. She became noticeably more affectionate and engaged. Her digestion stabilized after the first week and remained consistent throughout. Nothing deteriorated. Nothing went wrong. The only negative moments in the entire 30 days were directly tied to one brief period of lower quality food. The science behind it. Let me tell you what the research actually says, because this isn't just my experience. Studies on feline urinary tract health consistently show that increased dietary moisture reduces the risk of urinary crystals and blockages, particularly in male cats, where urinary blockages can be fatal. Research on feline obesity links high carbohydrate, dry food diets to elevated blood glucose, insulin resistance, and fat storage, the exact same mechanism that causes type 2 diabetes in humans. Feline diabetes is directly associated with long-term dry food consumption, and multiple studies on kidney disease, again, the leading killer of older cats, point to chronic dehydration as a major contributing factor. The kidneys of dry food-fed cats work harder every day for their entire lives. This is not fringe science. This is mainstream veterinary consensus that somehow still hasn't reached most cat owners. The honest conclusion. I'm not telling you dry food will kill your cat. Millions of cats eat dry food and live long lives. But here's what I believe after 30 days of watching Luna transform. Wet food is closer to what a cat's body was designed to eat. And that gap between what they're eating and what they were built for has a cost. It's slow, it's invisible, but it accumulates. If you can afford quality wet food, even partials, even just replacing one meal a day, the evidence suggests your cat will be better for it. Their kidneys will be better for it. Their weight will be better for it. And based on what I experienced on day 22, your relationship with them might be better for it too. Luna is still on wet food. She's not going back. If your cat has been on dry food their whole life and you're thinking about making the switch, go slow. Mix wet food in gradually over 1 to 2 weeks. Their gut needs time to adapt, and pay attention to ingredients. The food quality matters as much as the food type. If you want to see exactly what brands I used and what the ingredient labels looked like, that information is in the description below. And if your cat did something unexpected, when you switch their food, tell me in the comments. I read every single one.